Family members must have been afraid that he too might become a saint. Father,
Vinobaji gave me three mantras: truth, love, and compassion.
that while you were teaching, you suddenly heard about Bhimvedika.
He asked me, can you draw my portrait? He gave me a room in the ruins of the Second World War. In the western Vindhyachal region, there are approximately 1000 hills. It was winter when I started drawing. I
Yes.
created a total of 6,214 paintings in those caves. I don't believe that a person's life remains incomplete if they don't marry. In
We
fact,
want to know how important are traditions.
traditions are our backbone.
New relationship that is currently going on here, which you call live-in relationships.
We want special laws in
God
India.
must
Must surrender his body, his mind, everything to God. So
What should the governance system be like? What should a king
so
be like?
there should be a head who eats himself but nourishes the entire body. This should be the system of saying
Governance.
anything.
The
But
situation,
leaders have a lot of experience in attracting the public.
it means we people want that our Maharaja, Swami, should have big ashrams.
Shankaracharya is a title, but it is never the case that a great man is respected only when he is a Shankaracharya.
So why are these fake Shankaracharyas present only in our Sanatan dharma? No fake pope, no fake Maulana. Why?
When Ramchandra ji had to go into exile, Vashishta ji's orders were obeyed more than Dashrath's, and before that, Vishwamitra ji's orders were obeyed. So, our civilization was born in the jungle. We Indians can live with so few resources. I have traveled the whole world. It is only in India where millions of people travel even without money. If a Hindu girl eloped with a Muslim boy, not even four people would stand up. But if the same thing happened to people of other religions, 200 people would go wrong there. Jawaharlal Nehru and Gandhiji also refused. Regarding Ayodhya, that is why I do not consider this thing wrong. If we have a religious conflict there and it has been buried under duress, then it must be reburied. Even
How important is marriage? To have a life partner in your life.
live-in relationships are a form of legalized adultery.
तुम्हारी याद के साये में आके बैठ गए, हम अपने जख्मों को दिल से लगा कर बैठ गए, तुमको देखा तो ये लगा हमको इलाहाबाद में गंगा नहा कर बैठ गई.
The poet said these words. But today I am trying to understand their meaning and its essence. Because I am sitting today in the Folk Culture Museum, Bhimtal, and I do not have the ability to introduce the guest sitting with me. Yet I am trying to introduce our Bharat Ratna, whom I would call the gemstone of Uttarakhand. Our state is blessed with great elders like you, whom I will try to introduce Padma Shri Dr. Yashodhar Mathpal Ji. A very warm welcome, sir, to our podcast show, Voice of Parivartan.
Welcome to the Folk Culture Museum, Bhimtal. I established this museum in 1983, and it is the only museum in Uttarakhand that is a personal museum and was established by a single individual with limited resources. My native village was Naula village in the Bikasen Tehsil of Pali Pachau in the Ramganga Valley, about 100 kilometers away. I was born in 1939. My father was a freedom fighter, and as Gandhiji had instructed his disciples, they would not do anything personal, even for their own families. So, we grew up in a very simple way from childhood, and my father spent 16 months in jail, but he refused to accept any pension. He was a staunch follower of Gandhiji. So, my early education was that of a typical rural student living the life of a village in Uttarakhand. I completed my primary schooling at Naula Vidyalaya. Then I completed my junior high school at Manila Middle School in 1957. After that, I went to Ranikhet for high school. Then I completed my intermediate from Kanpur Sanatan Dharm Inter College. Then my teacher there told me, son, you should go to Lucknow Kala Vidyalaya because your paintings are so good. On the orders of the gurus, I completed a 5-year diploma in fine arts. But as I told you, I didn't receive any financial support from home. My father's financial situation wasn't very good. So, for those 5 years, I attended school during the day and worked in the market in Lucknow at night. Thus, from the very beginning, I was a self reliant person.
Yes,
That is to say,
that's right.
a daily wage laborer, and I had the opportunity to live my life independently. But after 5 years of hardship learning this subject, I had a strong desire in my heart. A thought came to me, what use could this art be for the nation? So
Right.
I went to Ajanta in 1962. I knew that Ajanta had ancient paintings and maybe I could contribute something to it. But at that very moment, the Chinese attack had taken place and there were no new
Okay.
postings of any kind there. After returning, I went to Gonar to meet Vinoba Bhaveji in Shantile. I took his guidance and made a sketch of him. Our museum still houses hundreds of his handwritten sketches. Vinobaji gave me three mantras: truth, love, and compassion. He said, these
Wow.
should be the goals of your life.
Truth, love, and compassion.
So, on the same basis, I stayed in Ludhiana jail for a month in 1964 because the cow protection movement was going on.
धर्म सम्राट करपात्री जी महाराज.
Yes, Deepak ji, under his guidance, I from Kumaon and a friend from Garhwal joined this movement. I spent a month in Ludhiana jail.
For cow protection.
The benefit to me was that 700 saints from all over India had gathered there. I got to be in their company.
Yes, this can be called a very good coincidence.
After that, when I came home, my father and father in law were very scared because I had recently got married.
The family members must have been afraid that he too might become a saint. Father is worried that he might leave the house.
So that's why I started teaching. And I stayed in teaching for 5 years.
Sir, where did you do this teaching work?
I taught at Salt Paisia for 2 years. After that, I studied at Manila Inter College. And at the same time, my father passed away. So I thought I should continue my studies and also do something for the nation. So after that, I started my freelance work and I also did some painting work in Ramnagar,
Yes, sir.
taking a loan from Lalaji there. And I tried to become self reliant. Then I felt that after learning so much, if I only served the wishes of a few wealthy people, it wouldn't be a good use of my talent. So all this was going on in my mind
I am agree with you.
while I was working at Manila Inter College. That same day, a news came in the newspaper that Bhimvetka's caves had been found near Bhopal
Yes,
in
sir.
Madhya Pradesh, in which there are pictures of Adi Manav. As soon as I got this news, I resigned from the job without thinking twice and went straight to Pune. I went to Pune because at that time there were three scholars who lived in Ujjain, Pune, and Banaras. I tried to contact all three of them, but there was no response from anywhere.
What year is this about, sir?
This is the year 1971.
Oh,
Yes.
so which school did you study in Pune?
Deakin College is the most famous school there. And since my father had died that year, as per tradition, I used to eat food cooked by my own hands, yet I
Okay,
reached Deccan College without any worry. I had not eaten anything on the train for 4 days during this journey
up to 4 days?
because I don't eat anyone's hand cooked food.
Sir, I would request you to tell us this while addressing our audience. What would have been your spirit? What would have been your gut feeling? That you would go to Pune for 4 days without food. You would study there. You would do research on Bhimvedika.
At that time, I had no resources. I had only rupees 1400 inches, my post office account. I took that money and went to Pune. When I got there, the person under whom I was to do research was Professor Mishra. He was a retired director there. Professor Shanklia was one of Asia's greatest archaeologists. His sketches are preserved in our museum. He introduced me to him. So he asked me, can you draw my portrait? He wanted to test me. I said, I was ready for it. He said, "Come tomorrow." So I quickly bought paint, brushes, and other supplies from the market and went there the next day.
In a hurry, with eagerness.
Now it so happened that the person who later became my research guide was his student. He said, "Look, he is the greatest archaeologist of Asia. If you can make his portrait, then do it. Otherwise, his time is very huge."
You told me, sir, that while you were teaching, you suddenly heard about Bhimvedika, located in Madhya Pradesh, in a newspaper. Then you became interested in going there and photographing the records. Was that your intention?
He never wasted his time. Dr. Shanklia was reading a book. I drew his portrait in the same way. It took 1 hour the first day, then 2 hours the next day. He was so pleased with the portrait that he asked me where I would be during the research. I told him that I eat by cooking with my own hands. I couldn't stay in the hostel. So he gave me a room in the ruins of the Second World War. So he arranged for me to stay there.
That's a great thing.
And after asking him, he gave me rupees 200 as college scholarship until some other arrangement is made. So he was very satisfied with the painting, and I also earned a living because this Bhim Vedka.
The oldest records are in the Bhimvedka.
I am coming to the same point. Please excuse me. 45 kilometers from Bhopal in the western Vindhyachal region, there are approximately 1000 hills. Those 1000 hills are lined with caves. Simply put, these caves are spread over a kilometer in width and 2 kilometers in length in Vidhyanchal. So primitive humans lived there during the Pashan period, and primitive humans came there a million years ago, and they lived there in caves and painted, and their remains were buried there. So that place is the only place in the world where tribals still live there, and they eat kandmul. So finding
Right?
such a large collection of paintings in that place is a discovery. When I read about it in the newspaper, I had no idea that this project would be so big. It was winter when I started drawing.
Yes.
I didn't have a good camera at the time, and as a painter, I would sit upright and draw with my hands.
Sitting down.
So it took me 5 years to paint the murals in those caves. I created a total of 6,214 paintings in those caves, which is a world record. This was challenging in itself, like being a free worker with no resources. I used to get rupees 200 at that time, and I had two children in the family at that time. So my mother said that you should also stay with me and take care of your family. I am becoming incapable. So I was under pressure from my family. But even after that, I did not hurry. Then I analyzed them for 3 years. So it took me 8 years to get PhD. And in those 8 years, I first got rupees 200 per month. Then UGC gave me a scholarship of rupees 300. Maybe rupees 300 at that time has become rupees 30,000 today.
As you all seen, we've been listening to you constantly, and it feels like we should keep listening. You have such an ocean. What can we pick from it? We're trying to pick out the nectar today. So, in this regard, I will request to you, sir, pray, request, whatever words are there. I would like to enlighten the public with the guidance that is supreme within you. So, let us continue this series of questions. I will finish my talk in a subtle manner, 1 minute at a time. Because we want to know the whole of Uttarakhand, your stature has spread to the whole world. So it is becoming difficult to cover it in 1 hour. Sir, you told that you got your education from Bikya Sen. After that, you told that you also went to Kanpur, then studied from Ranikhet, then you went to Pune. After that, you did research in archaeology. You spent 9 years in research. Bhimvedka near Vindhyachal, you took Bhimvedka to the whole world. In your statement, I would say that with the single hands of Vishwakarma Shri created the universe in the same way. Through your hands, Bhimvedka has reached the entire world. After that, you told about the conservation work. You told in detail that you came to Bhimtal because it is very close to the city and also very close to the railway track, so that the inquisitive and people who know about culture can come closer. You did this very well because this is the land of Lord Goludev. I'll start with this question. Sir, you mentioned in a question about the creator of Dharma Samrat Karpatri Ji Maharaj, whom very few people know, Shankaracharya Ji. We are all grateful to those of us who dedicated our lives to national service, to the creation of this nation, and to cow protection. You two were involved in that moment. I want your answer to this question. By that time, you were already married, so your parents and wife were not afraid that you might become a monk?
No, no. The first time we went from here, 35 people from Ramnagar, there was firing in Delhi and more than 300 cowherds were killed. They were at home
Yes.
and Indira Gandhi ordered the parliament to be fired upon.
Did Indira Gandhi fire the bullets?
That's why no one was ready to go with me again. I went alone from Uttarakhand. So, of course, my marriage also happened at that time, and my father was already worried that she is very fickle. How will I be able to understand? I should go to jail. The letters that father wrote to me when I was in jail are still with me. I told him that you too were in jail for a moment.
Because you too are the son of a freedom fighter. Sir, let me take this as a question. How important is marriage? To have a life partner in your life because your wife has now passed away. May God give her a place in His folds, and to be the life partner of a virtuous man like you is also a matter of pride for her. How important is a life partner in life?
Look, last year I said something in Haldwani and the girls really liked it. I was giving a lecture there. I said, first of all, you should
Yes.
remove the word half skinned. No one is half, man or woman. Every woman is complete, not half skinned. If my wife were a part of me, then if I had pain in my hand, she should have pain too. But that doesn't happen. What I mean to say is that God has made both men and women complete, and brave men don't marry. Marriage and other such things are for the weak people because man's
You took the words out of my mouth. I also agree with this.
Of the 84 million species, the human form is considered the best. This form is for attaining God, and God created us in His own image. All the gods we imagine are in human form, even though they have many other forms in their various incarnations. But our primary deities are all in human form. Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, all of them are human forms. So God created us like Himself. Even a pig gives birth to offspring. Even a dog gives birth to offspring. I don't believe that a person's life remains incomplete if they don't marry. In fact, it's better to avoid the hassles of marriage. In our time, we weren't asked for our wishes. We were called by telegrams saying, "Come, your marriage is fixed." In today's world, everyone has the right to choose a life partner based on their likes and dislikes. That's why today is a good time because you can make decisions.
You made a very detailed and profound point, sir. Those who feel this way will listen, reflect, and consider it. Now, my question to you is, how important is folk culture?
Maya has two words, folk and Vedas. Here we always put the word folk first. It is also said in the Gita in the 15th chapter, the folk that is in folk and Vedas is very vast. The huge glacier in the ocean, which is called iceberg, when it floats in the ocean, a little bit is visible on the top, but there is a complete mountain below. So, what is visible on the top is our culture, which is called Vedic Sanskrit. What is not visible is underwater.
Folk culture. It is folk culture.
So, folk has been formed over millions of years. Our cultures, whether Hindu, Islamic, or Christian, all have a specific time. The oldest of these is our Vedic culture, but folk predates that.
So, sir, regarding traditions, we want to know how important are traditions.
Traditions are our backbone. Brother, it used to be that if a mother didn't teach her daughter how to make ipan, she wouldn't get married. The mother used to teach the daughter, the son used to learn from the father. Look, if you learn something by studying or going somewhere, then you do it after a certain age. But the child of a carpenter sees his father doing the business from the age of 4 or 5. For this, he learns a lot by the age of 9 to 10. So, this is the
Yes,
folk tradition.
yes, this is absolutely correct. This is a tradition.
Our tradition is such that our mother wasn't educated, but she knew it wouldn't rain today. Now the spiders started setting their traps. Now that's it. So we had a lot of knowledge. Our Ayurveda is as dependent on herbs as it is on herbs. Everyone knew them.
If you knew it completely, then let's move on to a couple of questions. I want to know in answer to one question. You must have heard about UCC through news channels, social media, and the media. Our government implemented UCC. After implementing UCC, a new relationship that is currently going on here, which you call live in relationships, in which you can live together without marriage. The government has said that it will be recognized and you will have to get it registered. How necessary is this live in relationship?
First of all, what you said, it's very unfortunate that we want something different here. In foreign countries, there is nothing personal for you.
Yes,
There is
yes.
only one law for everyone. We want special laws in India. In foreign countries, the law is the same for everyone. Secondly, live in relationships are a form of legalized adultery.
Yes, that's right. You said that adultery is legal.
That the person with whom you want to live without marriage and want to do whatever you want, do not call it live in relationship. Marriage is not necessary for a human being. The Vivekananda ji had said that marriage is for the weak. Whoever wants to move forward towards God must surrender his body, his mind, everything to God. So when marriage itself is not necessary, then live-in relationship is not necessary at all. Marriage is there so that there is some control in the society. If
Yes.
sex was necessary, then why would one become a Paramahamsa?
Paramahamsa. Yes.
Therefore, not everyone can live without marriage. There should be order in society. Secondly, our society has been largely male dominated.
Absolutely male dominated.
What happens among tribal people is that even today women are there for the family collecting nuts and other materials. The men would go hunting and all the other women would look after the children and collect nuts. Sometimes the men would hunt animals all day and not be able to bring food, but the women would collect some nuts and bring them back. So the women's work isn't risky because they have children with them.
And there's a difference in temperament too. Women tend to be compassionate while men tend to be aggressive.
When a woman becomes a mother, she remains worried for several months. She needs some support. How will a pregnant mother support herself? That is why they established this marriage tradition. That brother, you can get married, but there is a limit to it. There is an age limit here. Marriage does not happen until a certain age.
Let's talk a little about the governance system. Sir, what should the governance system be like? Sir, you are also a historian. You are like a banyan tree because you have traveled from your beginning till here. Similarly, the common people have also traveled this journey, so you have studied the entire history seriously. From the root, you are now looking at the branch. So, what should the governance system be like? What should a king be like?
Ramchandra ji advised Bharat ji when he was returning, मुखिया मुख सोच चाहिए. खान पान को एक पालय पोसय सकल अंग तुलसी सहित विवेक. There is only one head, but it nourishes the entire body. So there should be a head who eats himself but nourishes the entire body. This should be the system of governance.
The situation is such that the king eats a lot, but it doesn't reach his body or the systems. What should the people do in such a situation?
What should the public do? As far as I understand, I want to tell you one thing. To become a leader or a king, one must have certain qualities. Because if I contest even the ward member election in my area, my security deposit will be forfeited. I've been here for 43 years. So, leaders have their own qualities. They shine even in the desert. And people like us can't say anything about leaders. And there's no benefit in us saying anything. But leaders have a lot of experience in attracting the public. They speak publicly with the public, but they have nothing to do with the public's interests. Earlier leaders had no concern for pomp and show, but today's leaders have big houses and big cars. We have set a standard. If a leader is to be, he must have all of these.
Sir, a question suddenly came to my mind. When it comes to world gurus, we were world gurus. I believe you will remain world gurus. You yourself are a world guru. You have shown the whole world. So, in our eyes, you are a world guru. So, what should the youth do? Being a world guru, tell me, what should the youth of our country, youth born in India or youth born in Uttarakhand, do? Should we go in the direction of job or self employment? Which direction should we go in?
Look, first of all, we never respect the very wealthy or wealthy. We even call a fraud a Swami or Maharaj Ji. Swami and Maharaj are greater than kings. That's why we place the spirit of renunciation above everything else. Although many yogis have become sannyasis who have considerable property, saints never attach their material influence.
However, there are some such saints here in Uttarakhand also who have ashrams at various places.
There are some reasons behind what has happened. What is happening in the society now, like if a rich person with a lot of money is troubled at home, then he will go to some guru's ashram where there are all the comforts and facilities, and he can also do bhajan and kirtan.
It means we people want that our Maharaja, Swami, should have big ashrams. Sir, using your precious time, let me ask a few more questions. I am taking the name of
धर्म सम्राट करपात्री जी महाराज.
for the third time here. If there is any mistake in my words, then please try to forgive me. There has been a tradition of Shankaracharya ji, after which all of us who are followers of religion believe him. The opinion of fake Shankaracharya and real Shankaracharya is also connected with our Jyotirpith. Swami Avimukteswaranand ji is still the Shankaracharya who is still recognized. He has also received widespread acceptance. He was installed as the eldest guest at Mukesh Ambani's wedding ceremony, which proves that he is the true Shankaracharya. But our country's illustrious Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, is another Vasudevanandji, and he considers him Shankaracharya. Since you are also associated with this movement, I hope you would kindly shed some light on this subject.
There was actually one Shankaracharya in the 8th century, and he established four Shankaracharyas in four places for the sake of religious upholding. Now, Shankaracharya is a title, but it is never the case that a great man is respected only when he is a Shankaracharya. We have had people who held high positions, but there were no Shankaracharyas. You talked about Kripatri ji. What does Kripatri mean? One whose character is in the hands. So we continue to give importance to sacrifice. What has happened now is that many wealthy people want to go to the places of Mahatmas where they have all the facilities. That is why such ashrams have been built.
So, why are these fake Shankaracharyas present only in our Sanatan Dharma? No fake Pope, no fake Maulana. Why only in the position of Shankaracharya?
That's not my concern either. And what's the other thing? It's up to us to decide what's real and what's fake. God didn't create us to do this. My opinion on this matter will have no consequence. I believe that only those who have a spirit of sacrifice in their lives can make a place in a person's heart. That's why our ancestors valued a saint more than a king, because even the king had washed at the saint's feet. Everyone had a royal guru. When Ramchandra ji had to go into exile, Vashishta ji's orders were obeyed more than Dashrath's, and before that, Vishwamitra ji's orders were obeyed. So these were our real rulers. They were religious gurus. So our civilization was born in the jungle. We Indians can live with so few resources. I have seen abroad that if they don't have a good breakfast in the morning, their whole day is ruined. Once I was in Peoplekoti for Kashtakala. My wife was also with me. We went to a big village called Panduka, quite far down the road. It took quite a while to come back from there. So at 2 p.m. the afternoon, we got rotis made at a small canteen. So as I was eating roti, an elderly man stood in front of me. He was wearing a dhoti and kurta. His beard was very long. So I asked Baba, will you also have food? I called him. When he came and sat down, I thought he must have been hungry for a long time. The person making roti was smiling at me. After some time I asked, Baba, it seems you did not eat this morning. He said, I have not eaten for 4 days, but this Badrinath Yatra of mine continues continuously. There is no one in the world who would walk hungry for 4 days and still believe in God. My soul was deeply moved. He has no complaint to God that Badrinath did not give him food, but his journey continues. This is India's contribution. I have traveled the whole world. It is only in India where millions of people travel even without money. It goes without saying, you should go and see in France, if people there are unemployed, they have to live under electric poles on the roadside. Here, people manage with the bare minimum. It is only India where food was not available for 4 days, yet that Baba has faith in that God. The journey continues.
Kept going.
This is our India. We have endured so much torture from the oppressors, but India is still alive. What efforts were not made to demolish temples, to break idols, to commit atrocities, but even today Sanatan stands at the same height.
Sir, I would like to ask you a question in this regard. The question is that there is talk of archaeological excavations at our religious and ancient sites, such as the one in Saharanpur these days. Is it necessary to conduct these excavations? As an archaeologist and historian, can you tell me whether such excavations are necessary?
Look, we endured atrocities for 1000 years. Hindus were so suppressed that we were accepting everything. So many girls were abducted from our villages. None of us had the courage to defend ourselves. If a Hindu girl eloped with a Muslim boy, not even four people would stand up. But if the same thing happened to people of other religions, 200 people would gather there. We have become cowards. We have endured slavery for 1,000 years, and our courage has been lost. So when statues were found there, it means there
It's
was an
true.
ocean there, even if a new pilgrimage site was not created. But what about our self respect? We feel it and our self confidence increases. That is why it is very important to pay attention. Where did we not go wrong? Jawaharlal Nehru and Gandhiji also refused. Regarding Ayodhya, that is why I do not consider this thing wrong. If we have a religious conflict there and it has been buried under duress, then it must be reburied. Even from an archaeological point of view,
As a religious person, as a follower of equal religion, you have clearly stated in your statement that these things should happen. And you have taken another stand. You have said that the UCC is necessary and the government should consider living relationships. That's what I understand from what you said.
living in relationship is a certified
Is
adultery.
a certified adultery. You are entering your 87th year after reaching the age of 86. You have a passion, a zeal to achieve something. You have accomplished a lot, yet you are not satisfied. The reason for this is that it is a matter of charity. And your offering to you is that you have come into this life with this feeling. So you have said everything about making the most of this life. If the coming generation follows this even a little, they will feel your divine and creative life. At this age of 86, he has so much energy. I feel this is a blessing for all of us. It's worth learning, worth understanding, and worth telling everyone. I would request all visitors that whenever you visit Bimtal, Khutani is a place you must visit. 2 turns from Khutani, you will find a board on the side of the road to Nainital for the Folk Culture Museum. It will be written on it, Dr. Yashodhar Mathpal. You can have a wonderful experience by coming here. Galleries have been built here to store the ancient objects of forge art, historical, traditional, and handicraft. Come here and enjoy your visit. You will get a chance to know your ancient history by coming here. I addressed you as grandfather in our traditional language. You are 1 year older than my father, and such a grandfather is a gemstone for the entire Uttarakhand. He is a great personality, a great man, and on behalf of all the spectators of
वॉइस ऑफ परिवर्तन
I express my gratitude to you. Despite your illness, we asked for 15 minutes, but you gave us more than an hour. We are grateful for this too. Thanks.